The river lay black under the moon, breathing mist far beneath. Coral spires glowed faintly palace of the water sovereign. Queen Liana sat upon her throne, her hand on her swelling belly, humming the hymn of firstborn daughters. But envy moved in the shadow tower. Prince Jaden, her brother, paced before a mirror that reflected nothing but his scowl. From the beginning, Liana had told him, "Our queens rule by the spirit's decree, and if the heir is a girl," he had hissed, "it will be. The water chooses." Then his voice turned like a blade. "Then I curse her destiny." That night, the waters chilled. Fish scattered. The queen, trembling, whispered to her nurse, "When she is born, hide her. Tell him it was a boy, dead at birth." The nurse bowed, knowing lies to spirits leave blood debts behind. When the child came glowing like pearl, the queen named her Amira, Princess of Light. Tears slid into the current. "Forgive me, little one. My lie keeps you breathing." At midnight, she wrapped the infant in gold and stepped into the river's mouth. "Take her, river mother," blind envy's eyes. The water obeyed, carrying the newborn toward the mortal shore, toward Maya, whose fate had already been summoned. Dawn broke pale and trembling. Mist hung over the riverbank like a ghost reluctant to leave. Maya knelt beside the water, filling her clay pot, her thoughts heavy with the scent of palm oil and the promise of marriage. Daniel would arrive at sunset with the drummers. Her new life was supposed to begin in rhythm and laughter. Then the current rose against the wind. From the water climbed a figure of impossible light, a woman crowned in coral, her tail glimmering beneath a shore of foam. In her arms, a baby wrapped in gold. "Please," the mermaid whispered, her voice both wind and water. "Help me. My brother's envy burns. My child cannot stay with me." Maya staggered backward, her pot shattering at her feet. "Who are you?" "I am Liana, queen beneath the waters. This is Amira, my daughter. Raise her, protect her." But to do so, Liana's gaze pierced the mortal's trembling heart. "You must never marry, never." The word cut deep. Maya's future dissolved in that instant. Daniel's smile, the songs, the wedding feast, the scent of henna fading like smoke. She almost refused. But then the baby stirred small fingers reaching toward her, eyes like dawn reflected in the tide. The infant smiled, soft and fearless. Something inside Maya broke and bloomed all at once. "I will raise her," she whispered. The queen's relief glowed brighter than her crown. She kissed the child's brow and placed her in Maya's arms. The river roared approval. The baby's tail shimmered once, then dissolved into two tiny legs. "As long as she stays in your world, she will walk as one of you," said Liana. "Her name is Amira. When her time comes, the river will call her home." Then the queen sank beneath the water, her last words trailing like light. "Never break your vow." Maya stood frozen, drenched and shaking, clutching the infant to her chest. Her clay pot lay in shards. Her life had split with it. By the time she reached home, her father's knife was flashing at the threshold, sparks scattering from the grindstone. He looked up, first joy, then suspicion, then anger. "Maya? "Whose child is that?" "Father," she whispered, kneeling. "I found her by the river, alone. I could not leave her." He scowled. "Return her. You cannot bring a stranger's child here. She has no one." "Then let the spirits take her." Maya's tears blur the world. "Please, Father, let me keep her. She is innocent." He sighed, heavy as stone. "If Daniel accepts you with this child, you may stay. If not, you leave with her." Hope flickered. That evening, Daniel arrived, fine clothes smelling of camwood and confidence. He greeted her father warmly, then turned to Maya and froze. "Maya, whose child?" His tone was knife-edge calm. She explained. He listened, and then he hardened. "If you keep this baby, forget our marriage." Her voice broke. "Daniel, please. You already chose." He left without another word. By nightfall, Daniel's uncle came to formalize the rejection. Her father's shame exploded into fury. "You bring disgrace to my house. Take that child and go. From this day, you are no daughter of mine." The door slammed like judgment. Maya fell to her knees, clutching the infant. The baby cooed, her glow soft and forgiving. "I will not leave you," Maya whispered, "even if the world does." She walked into the forest, barefoot, carrying the child through the dark. Branches scratched her arms, cold bit her skin. Yet the baby slept peacefully, as if guarded by unseen hands. By dawn, Maya had built a hut from branches and leaves. It was smaller than a chicken coop, but it was theirs. She laid a mirror inside, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "We may be poor, but I will not abandon you." That night, as the child slept, Maya prayed not to gods, but to the river. "If you hear me cooing beneath the waves, help me feed her. I kept my vow. Do not let her suffer." When she awoke, there was a leather bag on the floor where none had been. Inside gold coins, warm as sunlight. She gasped, trembling. A blessing or a test? Outside, the dawn broke brighter than it had in months. Somewhere beneath, the river stirred, remembering years past like slow rain. The child grew beneath Maya's humble roof, a girl of quiet laughter and eyes that caught light the way dew holds dawn. The villagers whispered, "She glows." Some said blessing, others curse. But Maya knew only love. Every morning, she rose before the sun, tied her faded scarf, and carried her child on her back to the market. Every evening, she sang by firelight old songs her mother had hummed. The hut that once smelled of smoke and despair now smelled of roasted yam and lullabies. The leather bag never emptied. It filled itself each time she gave. Bread for widows, coins for beggars. The more she shared, the heavier it grew. The spirits had made their judgment. A vow kept is a river that never runs dry. But far beneath, where coral palaces lay silent, the water had soured again. In his tower of obsidian glass, Prince Jaden still lived. Age had not softened him. Envy had hardened to madness. He stared into his mirror, a disk of black water, and saw nothing. He struck it with his trident until cracks webbed across its face. "Show me," he snarled. "Show me the cursed child." The mirror stayed blind. Each night he sent his soldiers into forbidden depths, search every stream that kisses human soil. His orders spread like plague. Divers drowned, warriors vanished. The spirits withdrew their songs. Mothers whispered to their children not to play near dark water, and still the prince's eyes burned. "She lives." My sister lied. The waters around his tower turned the color of grief. Fish avoided the place. Crabs crawled onto land to die. The kingdom's glow dimmed. The queen's people whispered prayers, but Liana sat silent, her crown heavy, her heart heavier still. To intervene now would mean open war against her brother, and the spirits forbade blood between kin. In her mirror of light, she saw another world. Maya's hut beneath the palm trees, a mirror chasing butterflies, laughter like song. The sight was balm. Yet Liana's heart clenched with guilt. Her child lived, but her kingdom decayed. Every choice has a shadow. Then came the night of reckoning. Jaden summoned his servants. "Bring 2 silver cups," he ordered. His voice was smooth as oil, his eyes dark as venom. They obeyed, trembling. He poured water into both cups, clear, pure, harmless. Into one he dropped a single bead of poison, a tear of the sea serpent. It dissolved like sin in silence. He smiled at his reflection. "Tomorrow my sister drinks peace." At dawn, the queen's court assembled. Jaden entered carrying a tray, his voice dripping false repentance. "Sister," he said softly, "forgive me. Too many years wasted in quarrel. Let us drink together, and let the river judge who is true." Liana's gaze met his. She saw the light gleaming beneath his words, but said nothing. The spirits do not warn twice. The test must complete itself. He handed her 1 cup, keeping the other, to peace. She lifted it to her lips. Jaden's smile widened. The hall held its breath. Liana sipped slowly, eyes never leaving his face. She coughed once, steadying herself on the table. Jaden's laughter broke loose. "Yes," he whispered, "at last." Then he drank from his own cup. The sound that followed was not laughter, but choking. His throat constricted, his skin turned pale as coral dust. He dropped the cup. The floor rang like a bell. "No," he rasped. "Impossible." Liana stood, unshaken. She placed a cup beside his fallen one, untouched by poison. Her voice, calm and sorrowful, filled the hall. "You cannot curse what the spirits have blessed. You cannot kill what destiny protects." Jaden's last breath gurgled through his teeth. His body went still, the sea around the palace clearing as if sighing. Above the water, that same night, Maya dreamed of waves turning from black to blue. When she awoke, the air smelled clean, and her daughter's laughter carried farther than before. The river kingdom, freed from envy, began to sing again. The fish returned. Corals brightened. Yet Liana's joy was laced with mourning her brother gone, her bloodline thinned. She turned to her mirror and saw Maya, older now, lines around her eyes, but kindness in every crease. Amira ran barefoot across the yard, her laughter scattering birds. The queen touched the mirror and whispered, "Be well, my daughter. The storm is over. The curse sleeps." But fate never sleeps long. For 18 years, Amira had walked as human. Yet the river kept count. On the night her childhood ended, a sign would awaken. It began quietly. A tremor in her reflection, a flicker in her eyes. The spirits had chosen their hour, and somewhere beneath the waves, Queen Liana closed her mirror, whispering to the current, "When she shines, I will come for her." The air was still that evening. Not a leaf stirred, not a bird dared sing. The villagers gathered by the river, murmuring, for something strange had begun to happen. Amira bent to fill her pot. The water trembled beneath her reflection. Then her eyes, once brown and gentle, flared with a light not of this earth, a soft pink, alive and deep, burned within them as though dawn itself had taken root in her gaze. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "She's glowing!" someone cried. "The river child!" Maya froze, her heart slamming against her ribs. The prophecy she had tried to bury now rose like the moon. Liana's voice from 18 years past echoed in her skull. When her time comes, the river will call her home. That night, Amira could not sleep. Dreams came in waves, silver light, coral towers, a woman crowned with pearls. The voice of the queen called through the dream, gentle yet commanding. "Amira, daughter of the river and the land, the time has come. You are safe. Return." Amira reached for her, but the dream dissolved into mist. She woke with tears on her cheeks, her body trembling with a strange ache, a longing older than memory. At dawn, she found Maya sweeping the yard. The broom slipped from her fingers when she saw the girl's eyes still glowing faintly in the light. "Mama," Amira whispered. "I saw her, a woman in the river. She called me her daughter. Tell me, what does it mean?" Maya's hands shook. For 18 years she had carried silence like a stone inside her. But no secret lives forever. "My child," she said softly, "there is something you must know." Amira stood still. The morning seemed to hold its breath. 18 years ago, the river opened beneath the moon. A queen rose from its depths with a baby in her arms. She gave that baby to me and said, "Protect her until it is safe." That baby was you. The words struck like thunder. Amira staggered back, disbelief and wonder mixing in her tears. Then, "I am not your daughter?" Maya took her hands. "You are mine in every way that matters. But yes, you were born of the river. Queen Liana is your true mother." Silence fell heavy, tender, infinite. Then the river stirred. Waves rose in spirals of light, humming with music that no human tongue could make. From the shimmering surface, Queen Liana emerged, radiant and sorrowful, her crown gleaming, her tail flowing like silk. "My daughter," she called, her voice echoing across two worlds. "At last it is safe." Amira pressed her hand to her chest. "Mother." Liana's eyes glistened with tears. "Every night I watched you. Every day I prayed for your peace. And now, look at you strong, kind, ready. The queen turned to Maya and bowed her head, a gesture no monarch gives to mortal flesh. Woman of the land, you did what few could. You kept my child alive, and you gave her love. For this, I bless you. The water glowed gold, swirling around Maya's feet, wrapping her in warmth. The queen's voice deepened into ritual. May your home never know hunger. May your hands never know poverty. May your name be honored in your village, now and always. Maya wept. I only did what a mother must do. Amira's tears streamed freely. She threw her arms around Maya. Mama, I will miss you. You are my child, Maya whispered. In every way the heart understands. Go, be who you were born to be. Amira stepped toward the water. It rose to meet her, wrapping her in light. Her legs shimmered, fused, and reformed scales blooming down her skin like petals of dawn. A long, luminous tail spread beneath her, pink and radiant. The villagers fell to their knees. The river sang. Amira turned, her voice breaking through tears. I love you. Maya smiled through her sobs. I love you too, my child. Always. The queen took Amira's hand. Together, mother and daughter descended into the glowing deep. As the river calmed, Maya whispered to the still surface, Go, my daughter. Keep both worlds alive. The wind carried her words, and the current answered soft, eternal, like a heartbeat beneath the earth. The river was no longer dark. It blazed with living light, 1,000 colors unfurling like wings beneath the waves. Coral towers gleamed, pearls pulsed like stars, and the sea drums began to sound the ancient rhythm reserved for coronations and judgment alike. Amira followed her mother down through the glowing current, her tail gliding with effortless grace. The water no longer resisted her. It embraced her, as though remembering its lost child. Schools of fish danced around her in spirals of light. The voices of the merfolk echoed from the halls of coral and stone. The child of light has returned. Queen Liana led her to the heart of the river kingdom, a vast hall of pearl, its walls alive with color, its floor carved by the hands of the spirits. At the center stood a throne that shimmered with its own light, as if it had been waiting since before time began. The queen's voice carried through the water, clear and solemn. After 18 long years, the daughter of two worlds stands before us. She has known hunger and kindness. She has lived in exile and love. Now she returns, not to conquer, but to unite. Amira bowed her head, her heart steady. Mother, I am ready. Liana smiled a sorrowful, radiant smile. She lifted a crown of coral and pearls, its light reflecting the rhythm of the current. Slowly, she placed it upon her daughter's head. The water trembled with power. Long live Princess Amira, cried the voices of the river. Long live the child of light. Amira lifted her face, her pink eyes glowing brighter than ever. Her voice rang out like a song born of waves and wind. I will rule with kindness. I will protect the weak. I will honor both mothers, the one who bore me in the river and the one who raised me upon the earth. I will keep peace between the water and the land. The kingdom erupted in joy. Drums made of shells pounded, dolphins spun in delight, and the water itself sang. Above, on the mortal shore, Maya felt the current hum beneath her feet. She closed her eyes and smiled through tears. The river was alive again. Her daughter had fulfilled her destiny. In that moment, the world balanced itself, envy erased, vows fulfilled, love enthroned. Two queens now ruled, one of the river, one of memory, and peace flowed between their realms like endless light. The years flowed like a calm river after storm. The curse that once poisoned the depths had been washed away, leaving only light and song. Yet even peace must remember its cost. Beneath the waves, two thrones stood side by side, mother and daughter, rulers of the luminous kingdom. Queen Liana's hair streamed like silver fire. Beside her, Amira's pink tail glowed like dawn against a coral stone. Together, they ruled not with tridents, but with listening heart. Liana often said, "Power given by love must answer to love." And so it was. No fisherman went hungry, no current turned cruel. The merfolk thrived and the land prospered in reflection because above, Maya's name had become a blessing. In her village, they called her Mother of Light. The poor came to her door and none were turned away. Her granary never emptied. Her fields rose green even in drought. When travelers asked her secret, she only smiled and said, "Keep a vow, and the spirits will keep you." Years later, her father returned hair grey, face shadowed by regret. He stood at her gate like a beggar, trembling. "My child," he whispered, "I was wrong. I let pride blind me. Forgive me." Maya placed her hand on his shoulder, her eyes soft. "I forgave you long ago. Come inside. This house has room for all." Thus the river of mercy flowed backward, cleansing what envy had once stained. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Maya visited the orphanage. At the edge of the yard sat a small girl, tracing flowers in the dust. Her eyes, dark and uncertain, lifted when Maya spoke. "What is your name?" "Amina," the child whispered. Maya smiled. "Would you like to come home with me?" The little girl nodded, tears glinting in her lashes. And so love's circle widened once more. Meanwhile, beneath the water, a celebration was prepared unlike any other. When Liana's time came to return to the spirits, she laid her hand on Amira's crown. "Rule in light," she said. "Remember both worlds." Then her body dissolved into a veil of silver mist, joining the current she had once commanded. Amira wept, but the water carried her mother's voice in its song. The crown is not a prize but a promise. She ruled as Queen of Light, keeping that promise, balancing the will of spirits and men. Fishermen offered the first fish of each catch to the river. Children sang her name at night. Peace became her reign's inheritance. And when the moon was full, she still rose from the depths to sit beside Maya by the shore. She would bring pearls and coral, lay her head on Maya's shoulder, and whisper, "Mama, I love you." And Maya, old and smiling, would answer, "And I love you, my child." When Maya's final dawn came, the villagers said the river itself rose in mist to greet her. No body was buried, only ripples where she had knelt to pray. Some say her spirit walks between land and water still, carrying light in both hands. For envy may rise, kingdoms may fall, but love kept, tested, and true binds the worlds forever. Final moral. The strength of a spirit lies not in crowns or spells, but in the courage to guard what is sacred and to forgive what was broken. Keep your vow, and the river will remember your name.